In this project, we're going to create a very simple game called Face Catch, your first game, but one of many. So call it Face Catch. And make your form a decent size. In this case, I have mine 650 by 613, something like this. You need room for your object to jump around. You can make it bigger if you want. As always, you should change the text on your form. Face catch, and you might be catching a butterfly. It doesn't matter. Catch whatever you want. I don't remember where I originally got this game idea. And then, of course, face catch. In a previous lesson, I talked to you about startup position on your form so that when you run your program, by default it starts kind of in the top left corner. Let's change it so it starts center screen. So choose your form and choose the start position property and choose center screen. And we will also change the icon here, but we'll do that later. And next you need a picture box for your face to actually appear in, or whatever object you have. And I'm going to name mine Pic Face. Your prefix is small p-i-c, capital F, small a-c-e, Pic Face. I'm going to get a picture from the icon archive so that I can actually have an icon and a picture. And I'm just going to choose, I'll see what I get with face. And, oh, some of these are lovely. Whatever, just a basic face. So I'm going to download the icon so I can change it in my form. And I'm going to shorten the name to face. And I'm also going to download the PNG, and this is what's going to jump around on my form. Okay, there's a couple different ways to get your pictures here. And just as a review, the way I'm going to do today is to go through my resources. So you would choose Project, Properties, Resources, and Add Existing File. And I'm going to go and get my icon and my picture. So my picture is the PNG, and my icon is the ICO. And sometimes you have to change the type at the bottom right corner for that to work. When you're in resources, you can see here at the top left that you have strings, images, icons, audio, files, other. So if you were to choose images, the face.png would show up, and if you choose icons, the face.ico would show up. Now would be a good time to save your project. So I'm going to choose my form and I'm going to add the icon. And apparently I'm going to go get it from my folder anyway. And then what I'll get you to do, if you've already done it, if you've already put a picture in here, I'm going to get you to remove it just for practicing. So choose your picture box, choose image, and delete whatever's over here. If you've already added a picture, or choose none. If you have a picture here, choose none from the select resource dialog box. Choose the smart tag on your image box or your picture box right now though, and set it to stretch because you know you're going to need to. what I want to do now is have on the form load, have that picture load up here. Okay, to code your form load, it's easy. Double click the form, and just a couple things that I want you to start noticing. Public class, like this blue word here, it's the same name as what you named your form, and I need you to start noticing that. And that we're in that name underscore load. We're in the form load. And when the form loads, you want pick whatever you called it, dot image to equal your resource face. I think it's face. Oh boy. I think mine is face 1. I'll see right away. Whoop. Nope, didn't like that one. Resources dot, well, let's go with face. Yep, like that one. There we go. So make sure you get that to load in your form load, so you start using your code more than just your properties. Okay, the nice thing about using a PNG picture is that it reserves the transparency here. But if you need to get rid of a background on a picture, on Blackboard, I have videos that tell you how to do that, specifically designed for computer science students. If you go to the content and you go to the videos, really easy Photoshop tutorials. They work for Photoshop or GIMP or Paint.net under graphics. And they are Photoshop PS lesson for Comp Sci 1 and Comp Sci 2. It's 2 videos. So you can always do those when you have free time. All right, stop your program from running. Now, we've got the icon. There we go. And we're good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a start button on there. So, or maybe we'll have a tooltip. Yeah, we'll do that. From your toolbox, all Windows conforms. Find the tooltip control, tooltip. Double click it, and it goes in the component tray just like the print form did. The tooltip. A tooltip, if you watch the screen, what you're seeing right now pop up when I mouse over these buttons are tooltips. They're helpful balloons to explain what's going on. So obviously somebody had to code that, and this is how you do it. Choose your picture box. Scroll down. Now that you've added a tooltip, you will see tooltip on tooltip 1. Okay? And here you can type in whatever you want to say. I'm going to say, click the face to begin. Now when you run your program and you mouse over the image, you get a tooltip. Close it down there. And again, you should save. Get in the habit of saving frequently. So in this game, what's going to happen is that this face is going to appear at random locations on the form. And when it appears, your job is to try to click on it. And it's only going to show up for a few, like a second, whatever we think is a reasonable amount of time. So let's just break this problem down into small pieces. What's the first thing we have to do? Okay, I'm not asking how to do it. What is the first task we need to do? Right now we have a form that runs and we have a face on it. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is make the face move to a random location. I don't want to see it move. Okay? So it's just going to appear. So I'm going to need how many random numbers? 2. I need a random left and a random top. And I need this to happen every, we'll say, 1 second. So what do I need to control that? We need a timer. So let's back up the truck here. So when I click the face, now what do I need to happen? Think code-wise now. Because until you click the face, nothing's happening. When I click the face, what needs to happen? Well, what moves it? The timer moves it. So when I click the face, what has to happen? The timer has to turn on. Okay? Does that make sense? Because until I click the face, is the timer running? No, it is not. So when I click the face, I need the timer to start. Okay, so now the timer's turned on. The timer goes tick, tock. What happens every time? The location moves. So we put the moving location inside of the timer. And when we click the face, we turn the timer on. All right, so let's keep it small. Keep the code small. So we need a timer. I think we all agree on that. Everybody add a timer. I want you to name the timer TMR move face. Just in case we add other timers later, we want to be clear on what this timer is supposed to be doing. I believe I said 1 second, so the interval needs to be 1,000. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to slow mine down to 1.5 seconds so that I can work with it, deal with the code. Okay, the timer should not be enabled. So when you run your program, what you're going to do is click the face. So when I click the face, what do I want to happen? The timer becomes enabled. TMR face move dot enabled equals true. Double click your timer to code the timer. And the timer does what? So in order for the picture to appear at a random location, we need to say that pick face dot top is equal to some random number, R&D, times, do you remember what goes here? Me dot height. Okay, try to find the left one and see what you come up with. Pick face dot left equals R&D times what? Me dot width. Okay. Run that and see what happens. Yeah, 1.5 seconds is pretty slow, but what can we do to make our project more game-like? We could have a score counter. So this is jumping ahead into the next unit, but it's about time that we did that. So what we're going to do is double-click the timer. Wait a minute. When does our score go up? When you click the face. So double-click the face. Now, a variable is just like you've used in math forever, right? X plus 5 equals 7. What's X? That's a variable. So to use a variable here, we say dim int score. It's a variable of type integer. You guys know what integers are? Okay. As integer. And I lied. Change the dim to static. It's static int score as integer. Now, if you click the face, what would happen to the score? It would go up by 1. So int score will have a new value. In other words, int score equals. And my new value is going to be int score plus 1. I know it looks weird, but you'll get used to it. So int score is going to be assigned a new value, and the new value is int score plus 1. That's good, fine and dandy. The computer knows the score, but I don't. For me to see the score, I need it to show up somewhere. And for us right now, the simplest place would be me.text. Equals. Now let's put a nice word there. Score ampersand int score. Like that. Run your program. Try to catch your face. Watch your title bar. It should work. Okay, so students have noticed that the face sometimes jumps partways off the form. See if it happens here. Right there, it's off a bit, and to the right, it will go off. And the reason is that the top, we said, can go all the way down as low as the bottom of the form, when that's not exactly true. The top can only go as low as the height of the form minus the picture height. And don't forget to use parentheses due to the order of operations. And the same with the width. It can go over to the right as far as the form minus the picture width. And again, you need that in parentheses. And I'm going to speed up my timers so that I'm not waiting all day. Go to 800 and click the face to begin. Okay, and now it shouldn't go off the form at all now. It went off there a little bit. The reason it still goes off a little bit at the bottom, folks, is this. It's the title bar. You have to actually subtract a little more due to the height of the title bar, and I think it's around 20. So for the height, you could actually subtract another 20 due to the title bar, and then you should be good. Okay, so far so good. I think that'll do it. Okay, another way to actually make your game better, of course, would be to limit the number of tries the user gets. If you pay your, I don't know what it is at the fair anymore, $5 to throw a ring, you don't get unlimited number of tries. We only get X many tries. So how many tries do you want to give a person in this game? We only get to click the face 3 times? Like, how many times do we want to see the face pop up before it's game over? 10? We could do 10. All right. So we've decided on 10. So because 10 is the maximum number of tries, it's going to be a constant, and it's going to be max tries as integer equals 10. Now, a constant is a value we use in the program that is not allowed to change while the program is running. For example, GST, PST, those kind of numbers, pi, they do not change while the program is running. We call those constants, and we use uppercase letters to declare them. So I'll write that here. Constants do not change while program runs. Constants named with uppercase letters only. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky. And I put this in the wrong place. You need to cut this line cut those lines and put them in the timer. Cut out the constant lines and put them in the timer. Because the timer's the one that's going to go off 10 times. 10 times we're going to move the face. So we're going to declare the constant in the timer. Now we need a variable declared with static int move as integer. And this number of times face moves. So just to go over this again, we have a constant 10, and that's the maximum number of tries we're going to give the user. We have a variable to actually keep track. So the first time the face moves, it'll be 1. Next time the face moves, it'll become 2. The next time the face moves, it'll become 3. Does anybody know how to code that? Int move is going to equal, any thoughts? To be 1 more than it was before is going to be int move plus 1. Okay? So every time the timer goes off, moves goes up by 1. So are you guys good? So when are we done the game? So if int move is equal to the max number of tries, then message box, game over. And I want to disable the timer. How do I disable the timer? Timer, move face, keep going, dot, what? Enabled equals false. Okay, this is a lot of new stuff for you guys. Okay, so switch around your disabling timer code and your message box code. And when you run your program, click the face to start, and it should move 10 times. And then it quits. And then if I try it again and actually try to catch my face, I should keep a score. Okay. Okay, for sounds, first you need to go to project properties and then resources, and then I'm just going to switch it to sounds right now so that it's easier, but you don't have to. Add existing file, and on the shared drive under COM20S sounds, I've got some here. So I'm going to go with tone low for when the game's over and shooting for when I click on the face, just to keep it simple. Remember that they have to be WAV files, and if you need to convert them to a WAV, you're going to use Audacity, which should be installed, and it looks like this. Okay, so when I shoot or click the face, that's in pick face underscore click. So when I click the face, I'm going to play the sound. So my computer is going to play the sound, .audio.play, and then in parentheses, my.resources.shoot. You also need to tell it how to play, so it's comma, and I'm going to go to background. Just test that out, and whoa, hopefully it plays. You do the same thing for game over. The trick is, where do you put the code? The game over code is going to happen here where the game is over. So my computer.audio.play, my resources.low background. And then when the game is over, and there is a bit of a lag in the sounds, and sometimes you have to move the code around a bit. I'm going to move this line up and I think it might play better. And also, because I'm testing, I'm going to say that the maximum number of tries is 5, so I don't have to wait for it 10 times. For testing, you can change your max number of tries, make it lower. Okay, and the tone low, I think I picked a lousy sound for the tone low. You can always go out and listen to it. Here it is. And it's really short, so I need a better sound. So yeah, you might just have to find a better sound. Okay, so I changed mine to be an explosion. So when I run it, okay, and right now that's face catch as far as we can get on it today.